Hi, I'm John Deming, and I teach a course called Power8, and I teach it for people that want to do a course in Lexington and Newton, Massachusetts. And it has 8 exercises. And the reason I started doing Power8 is because I ruptured my 2 favorite exercises are pull-ups and running. And I ruptured my rotator cuff, and it was not repaired, and that took care of my pull-ups. And then I ruptured partially my knee, my left knee, and that took care of the running. So here I was with my 2 favorite exercises. I could not do them. I can still walk, of course, and I can still do some exercises with my right arm, but I couldn't do pull-ups and I couldn't run. So I came up with these 8 exercises from all kinds of different places like Pilates and yoga and just good old-fashioned gym class. And they took a while for me to really get them, so I was really happy with the feelings that I got when I did those exercises. They helped each of the muscle groups, and I'll talk about those in just a minute. So I do them every day, and I can do them for a real quick workout for about 6 minutes, and I can do a longer workout for up to 12 minutes. And obviously, if you want to do them every day, which is what I do, they will help you to improve your core strength and, as I said, your flexibility, your spinal flexibility, and really make you pretty happy with your performance with them. Okay, so here are the 8 exercises. The first one is warm up, and it's standing squats and back stretch. And what I just do is I just squat and come up and stretch. Take a deep breath. And stretch my arms back, and do one more. And that warms me up. I can do as many as, I usually do 8 or 10 of those to get me started. My second exercise is called balanced rock and roll. And it's a spine flex exercise. And it's really, I consider it a very, very important exercise. It's a Pilates exercise, and I repeat it between each back exercise. So here is how it works. There's a number of ways to get down on the mat. This is the way I choose to do it. And I just roll back like that. And then I do what I will consider to be a quick set of rock and roll. It's called rock and roll. And I will just show you, sometimes straighten my legs. And that's number 1 exercise. And I repeat it after every single exercise. Back exercise. All right, number 2 is a pelvic tilt to hip raise and shoulder press. And so that's 3 different things. It's a pelvic tilt, and it's a hip raise, and it's a shoulder press. My shoulders are pushing down onto the mat. Keeps me from getting round shouldered, I hope. So it's 1, 2, and then 3 is just pushing up. And as you're doing it, you can push up with your glutes, and you feel the glutes are tightening, and that's very effective. So that's number 2. Number 3 is I call them balanced crunches. And the reason they're balanced is because if you do them with balance, you're getting a lot more effectiveness than if you do. If I just did sit up like that, I'm not working the kinds of muscles and as effectively as I do when I do balanced crunches. So I do several rock and roll, and then I just come up and I just do this motion. And as you can see, it's pretty simple, but it takes a little bit of work to get to the point where you can do it in a balanced way, like that. And that's what really works your core. So that's why I really like this exercise, because it really works your core. So I do a set of those. I'll do 20 of these. Maybe I even do 40 some days. And that's exercise 3, balance crunches. And now number 4 is where I turn over on in this, and I get in this position, and I call this one cat cow. It's from yoga. The cat is, actually you do the cow first. So you let your stomach sag, take a deep breath, and then and push up like the cat, like the cat. And again, it's really important to take a nice breath and push up with your core as much as you can. Really force it up there. And that's number 4. It's called cat cow. Then we'll go with plank. And plank is done, I do it in 2 ways. Number 1 is just, sometimes I just do this, just to hold a plank. And the key with this is to try to keep your whole body as straight as you can from your shoulders to your feet. So if I go like that, it's not as effective. And if I go like that, it's not as effective. So just this like this. Then what I do next is I add in a leg lift, like this. And try to keep your leg as straight as you can. And just lift your leg. And I do sets of 10 with each leg, or 20. If I'm feeling fit and so on, I'll do a set of 20 with each leg. I'll just do 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I did 10 and 10 on that one. All right. And that was plank with single leg lifts. Okay, next is push-ups. Push-ups are very important for your arms, so don't neglect them. 2 ways to do a push-up. Number 1 is a regular way. You got a good position, and then you go down, and you don't have to go all the way down like that. I go halfway. And the other way to do it is a modified way. If those push-ups are hard, then you can put your knees down and do a modified push-up. They're easier, but if you do a lot, you're getting just as much bang for your buck. So I do a few more. I can do a few more with my knees on the mat. But the most effective way to do push-ups is to do them like that. Okay, so that was number 6. Okay, number 7 is really, really important, along with all the rest of them. And it's called double leg circles. But before I do them, of course, what do? I do rock and roll. And I do a set, and then maybe I'll do a couple of those too. And then when I'm ready, I start with my legs as straight as I can, and I come up and around. So I'm making 2 circles. Here, let me just demonstrate a little bit this way. And try to keep your legs as straight as you can. I can't keep my legs as straight as I'd like to be able to, but it works for me anyways. It's effective. It's hard work, especially when when I started, I would try to do 40, and I built up so I could do 40, but now I just do 20. So at the last few, if you could bring your legs even wider apart, you even get more work from your abdomen and your core. So that's what I do for number 7, right? And okay, the finish. Okay, but before I do the finish, I have to do this, and this is really, in some ways, this is the hardest thing of all. I do a couple of rocking rolls, and then I get my legs as straight as I can, and I come up and I hold about at the calf level, and I just do the same rock and roll, but holding onto my calves. This is hard, especially at first. If you haven't been doing this, it's a very hard exercise. So I'm getting hooked here. Just a demonstration is hard, especially when you're talking. Okay, so that's it. I'm doing that, and then I come back down, and I like to do, because, as I said, this leg especially has got ruptures, so I wear a compression stocking, and I try to straighten them out, which gives me a little bit more flexibility. And then I get up, and the last exercise is, again, I'll do the same thing I did before. Take a deep breath, and then stretch back. One more. And then this way. And that's Power 8.